The Consumer Price Index rose 3.4% in July from a year ago, down slightly from June's 3.5% annual pace. Core inflation was 2.5%, annually modestly lower than June's 2.6%. Both readings were exactly in line with economists' expectations. On the surface, this looks like good news. Inflation is falling. Core inflation is approaching the Fed's target. The trend is moving in the right direction. But here is the problem that the headline number obscures. Oil is now back at $91 per barrel, with the Iran situation escalating. The July CPI data was collected before the most recent Iran escalation drove oil higher. The August CPI, released next month, will capture the current $91 oil price. The progress shown in July's data may be partially reversed in August's reading. Gasoline prices fell 2.9% in July, contributing significantly to the subdued CPI reading. Gasoline is now rising again as oil hits $91. Tailwind that helped July CPIs becoming a headwind for August. The shelter inflation problem that will not resolve quickly. Housing costs, rent, and the equivalent cost of owning a home are the largest component of CPI. They have been the most persistent source of inflation throughout this cycle. They do not move quickly in either direction. Even as overall CPI edges lower, shelter inflation remains elevated and is slow to respond to monetary policy changes. The aggregate Q2 2026 earnings growth for S&P 500 companies sits at 50%, the fastest growth since 2021. Strong corporate earnings alongside persistent inflation is a complex combination. Companies are profitable. Workers who kept their jobs are seeing real wage gains. But the cost of living remains elevated and the Fed remains under pressure to act. The most honest assessment of where we stand. Inflation is moving in the right direction, slowly. The Iran situation threatens to reverse recent progress. The Fed's job is not done. Rate cuts remain unlikely in 2026. Rate hikes remain a genuine possibility if oil sustains above $90. The financial environment for borrowers remains challenging. For the foreseeable future,